So hey guys, it's your boy Vandal, and I'm coming back with another video because I need to do these because I had something on my mind this week. But before we get into this topic, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, don't feel too shy to hit that like button, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications because you want to hear what I have to say when I have to say it. This week, I'm coming to you guys with a problem that I've been having for the last couple of weeks, and it has to do with Instagram. Okay. Basically, what I want to talk to you guys about today is vanity in social media and how that can cause the downward spiral to your overall success as you want to become someone who grows a community and becomes like really great in whatever it is that you want to do. Now, how does vanity cause your downfall in terms of social media, Instagram, all that stuff? So let's define vanity. Vanity is basically self-obsession with yourself, the things that you do, the things that you create. It's all about you. It's all about me. Me. We understand that vanity is about ourselves, but we're going to take it to the umpteenth degree. This vanity is about how you look at what you do in the social media sphere. So we talk about this obsession with what we create, what we like to do, and there's some good in that. There's some good in understanding that we love to create. We're obsessed with the process and getting things done. The problem comes when we start getting obsessed with how many likes we're getting, how much engagement we're getting, how many views we're getting, and we start looking at it like obsessively because we want a certain number, we're looking for something else, and what that obsession is doing, first of all, is taking away from our actual production of products. Because I've found in myself over the past week that I've been looking at my phone way more than I have any business to, and I have like dropped production on a lot of things that I need to pick back up because I've been so interested in how YouTube videos are doing or how good my posts are doing on Instagram when I should just be focusing on actually creating. And we'll get into the later half of the video, like what you can do to combat some of these habits. We're gonna talk about our downfalls first. Now, the next thing that happens with our obsession is that let's say that we get past this part where we're not looking too much at what we're making or how much we're making, and we are actually creating, which is great. Now we're stuck in this next phase, which is called perfection. Everything has to look perfect. And that's how Instagram is. It's created to make things look perfect. I mean, just about anything when you think about it in terms of social media is a curated part of our lives. We want to show the best, most positive part of our lives. We don't show the hard parts. We don't show the sad parts. I don't know about some of you, but I know I don't do that for myself, and that also goes right back into my art and the things that I do. So we're looking at like taking like maybe months, years, I don't know how long to make a perfected post. And that's something that I've definitely beat out, I would say. I don't know, tell me in the comments down below how you guys feel about perfection and how it's affected your art or the things that you're trying to put out. Perfection ties into the obsession because now we're trying to get like people looking at the thing that we made and thinking that it's the greatest thing, because in the vein of vain people want to feel that they are doing the best thing that they are, like they're the best thing since sliced bread. They want the next important part. Now we've gone through obsession, perfection. Now the beautiful word is validation. Validation from other people. That's what the whole thing of Instagram is, or social media in general, or Twitter, whatever you want. That little heart, that little like is like a little matchstick that gets lit in your head every time because now your ego is getting stroked because now you feel that you've been doing something that is amazing. You've been doing something that is great. It is profound. It's the next thing in humanity's next big step. But it's just a picture of you on vacation. Maybe I'm gassing it. It's not that crazy. It's not as crazy as I'm making it seem. But there is a sense of validation in vanity because you want to be accepted by other people. You want to show that there is good in the things that you are doing, and you want to be rewarded for it with the likes that you get. And this comes like, I guess this is like if you think of a rock star, right? They're obsessed with what they do, they perfect their talent, they get validation from their fans, and then the worst part happens. the last part. And the last part is the fall. And we all see how the fall goes. And what happens? The fall happens when you stop receiving that validation. You've become too obsessed in perfecting your art that you never release anything. So then you start to get stale, or you start to get like stiff because you're not moving. You don't have the juices flowing like you used to because you're trying to make this one perfect album or this one perfect piece of art or this one perfect blog for something, and you haven't been creating. So now you're not as agile as you used to, and now you're not getting that validation. And now we start self-loathing, and we start to think to ourselves, what's wrong with me? Why am I not getting the things that I've done before? I used to be so great. What happened? And that's where the fall happens, because you don't have that validation. You start second guessing yourself. You start thinking that you're worthless because now the validation that you were getting oodles of before is no longer there, and you don't know how to cope with it. So we've gone through the 4 stages of what happens through vanity and your rise and fall. And the fall happens really quick. So how can we better prepare ourselves for the eventual rise and fall of our own greatness? And I think that comes, one, in understanding yourself and having self-reassurance that you know that you are great, and the outside validation that you are getting is just superficial. Those likes only mean as much as you are willing to give them. They only have as much value to you as you give them. They are not as valuable as they actually seem. So understanding that you have self-worth, you have a long way to grow, or there's still growth there, you can understand that whatever comes after that is just extra, and it's just part of your process of creating. Within that, having your own security, not being insecure, because that's what our vanity stems from, is having humility and being humble. Because what happens in the first 3 phases, right? Your ego gets to a point, especially if it like loops a lot, like it loops in a big way. If you think of like child stars, for example, like their egos are just like, they have an obsession acting, they get really good at it, and they are validated by people at a young age, and they're not taught how to like reel that in. I don't know if that was a great analogy, but let me know in the comments if it wasn't. We have like that loop, and our ego gets really high, so we think we're really great, we're better than people, we're better than most, and that may be true. But humbling yourself and understanding that there are definitely people who are better than you, and there are definitely people who could use your help is very important. And I use the word use your help because on this channel, what I like to do is help people figure out how they can help communities and build their own communities. So what we're trying to understand here is that maybe in our humility, we can help people, we can help ourselves understand that we fit in some sort of spectrum from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Wow. In understanding where we fit in that spectrum, we can better juxtapose our greatness and be more secure in the fact that we're great in what we do. Because I know I've done that myself. I've thought that like I've been the greatest artist, or maybe I've even done the opposite. I've like self-loathed myself to be like, I'll never be great because I'm not as great as the other person. But there are other people who I could also help that I didn't even notice before that might need that. So that's why I do that on my art channel. One of the other things that I've been talking about in the humility is community, is joining a community so you can help other people. Helping other people is a great way to shave off that vanity. Helping someone else other than yourself, because vain people tend to only be about themselves. They get into a self-contained bubble where they're not talking to people, they're not growing from talking to other people. And that's what also happens in that process of being a part of a community, is you get to join, you get to learn new ideas, new techniques, and see how other people are doing things, which will make you an overall better person in whatever it is that you're trying to do. And also what it can help is help show other people to elevate them to maybe the level that you're at, if you're somewhere very high or somewhere lower, or even looking for help if you're not even like there yet at the thing that you want to do, seeking out people. Maybe you could even be a mentor to someone. Somebody always needs a mentor, whether you're the greatest person. Some people who say that about coaches, right? The coaches don't play or whatever. I don't know if that's the thing. I think it is. All right, whatever. You get the point. We can take that humility, we can take being secure in our own selves and not needing the validation and just creating our work and letting our work speak for itself and not the people speak for our work. We can have joining a community, helping people, being mentors, learning from other people, getting ideas, seeing where you can improve, taking critique. Oh my God, that would be an amazing one. So what happens in the biggest one, I guess this would be the fourth one to counteract this, taking critique and understanding that you aren't as great, which goes hand in hand with humility, but I think understanding that you're not the best shit since like fried bread is a great way to understand how you can get better, and people who will actually tell you that would be great because they'd help like balance out maybe some things that you thought were amazing that you were doing when necessarily it wasn't the greatest that it could be, because a lot of people tend to be positive, but some other people could stand to actually help by being a little bit more in your face. To sum it up, Vanity goes through these 4 steps that we have: obsession with your work too much, closing yourself in a bubble, perfection, trying to make the most perfect thing and not just trying to iterate and trying to just make it a little bit better each time and going through that process, validation from other people outside of yourself, constantly feeding that wheel of you're doing great when you're doing this, and then the fall that'll happen when you start to self-loathe and doubt yourself. And what we can do to counteract that is having security in ourselves by stopping our insecurity by seeking validation. We can not, I didn't talk about this too much, but I'll talk about it here, is don't compare yourself to others, which can go into humility because I guess, what is it? Comparison is the thief of joy, which would go into the self-loathing part where you would compare yourself to others because they're doing so great and you're not doing so great. Why am I not doing as great as them? Something I should have talked about, but it's neither here nor there. Humility, just being humble about the gifts that you have and, you know, sometimes boosting yourself up and talking about them, but not all the time. Not everybody wants to hear Jimmy be like, yo, I'm the hottest stuff since sliced bread, cheese, fried eggs, and bacon and cheese. It's actually a really good sandwich. Okay, joining a community is definitely a great way to help others, help yourself, learn new ideas, expose yourself to a different way of thinking, understand where you stand in terms of what you want to be good at, and lastly, I guess taking critique, which would go hand in hand with humility, understanding that there are some flaws within what you do or some things that can always be made better, and just keep working at making better. So, what do we learn at the end of the day? That being vain is not the best thing unfettered. It needs to have a little bit of like balance in it, because anything in one extreme is way too much in the other. And I'm glad I talked to myself about this because I really needed it, and I hope that it helped you too. And this is the end of the video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe if you liked it. Don't forget to hit that like button and bell. And, you know, comment. What do you think about vanity in the social media age? How do you feel like it affects the things that you do or how you present yourself to others? These points can touch on multiple subjects in different ways, different genres of things. So I think I'd love to hear what you guys think about that in the comments down below. That's all I have for you guys. That's all that I have for you guys. That's all I have for you this week, guys. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye.